Hi and welcome. This is Irmina, and I want to invite you to stay a while. Today is day 21 video, although physically it's actually day 24, but I usually do the videos a few days afterwards. I want to invite you to sit for a bit for this video and also the one I will be including, which is day 24, on a separate video because it's going to talk about the primary reason why I started this journey anyway and what I'm learning along the way. And the main reason I started this is because I noticed that some practice stayed and others did not. And some stayed for decades, some stayed for years, and some stayed for days. So I wanted to dive deeper into why is this happening and what can we do to set ourselves up for greater success. So it's been 3 weeks. Most of you have probably heard about it takes 21 days to create a habit. Well, my experience has been it doesn't take 21 days to create a habit. It takes 21 days to um, set a direction. It's like setting your hair or um, setting something. You kind of make a decision. This is where I'm heading. I feel that over the years, 21 days isn't sufficient to actually create habits. It just sets you in the direction. 40 days, I think, is vital. That's when you actually get connected, and you may find that for the 40 days of this, 40 days of that is throughout different systems. That's because 40 days really begins to create a blockage to stopping, whereas 21 days just sets you in the right direction. That's been my experience, and that's something you can ask yourself to see if that's true. That means then you want to make sure your milestones are not just 21 days, that you have other milestones after that to support you. All right, looking back. So, what surprised me the most is that day one took a long time to get started, and it wasn't resistance because I was feeling lazy. I needed to restore my body from many weeks of what I would call overextending. I don't want to say abuse because it wasn't abuse, but I was overextending. I was overgiving. I was overdoing for a long time before that. I was finishing a degree. I was adding to my other book. I was working full time. I mean, it was just too many things were going on at once. And this habit, the movement habit, took the second position, and I paid for it because it was hard to restart, and also my body began to cause issues. Um, by day three, I realized that I needed to take be more gentle and really take time. Day 11, my priorities were pretty firm by day 11. I think 11 is a really good milestone as well to have. Nothing dramatic has happened in day 21. And that's the part that I was like, okay, so what am I going to do this video about? Because nothing dramatic happened. And it's exactly what I need to talk about, that nothing dramatic happened. And let me explain. At the end of the day 11 felt like, can you keep going during the boring times or non exciting moments? Walking in the rain, walking with a lot of dogs around and having to keep crossing the street and going, you know, or I also started to include other movement, Pilates, and my daily orientation. I'll talk about that later. And not wanting to do this one versus doing, starting to waver between, well, what's the best thing to do today, and just it was just the minute daily boring things. And this is, I think, when, at least in the past, when I've stopped something, that's usually when I stop because it's like it's just too much processing rather than just keep it simple. That's the key for day 21. This is not the time to start adding a whole slew of things, which tends to naturally happen to those of us who like novelty. We get bored. Oh, I'm just going out for a walk again. Oh, I'm just going. We want to start adding some novelty to it. Oh, I'll take another road. Oh, I'll go to another park. Oh, I need to change, blah, blah, blah. That tends to start adding resistance that we may not need. So that was one of the visitors I noticed that started happening very early on during the first 21 days. Um, I also, this is on a positive note, I realized very early that my body is not the enemy. In fact, it's highly intelligent. And if I sit long enough during my morning meditation or evening reflection, if I sit long enough to really connect with it, it will tell me exactly what it needs and why. Now, do we always have, 20 minutes to meditate and go deeply every single day? Do we, and a reflection in the evenings? Sometimes it's just 1 minute, 3 minutes, uh, 30-second pause. But whatever time you can allocate just to listen to your body will have benefits because our mind, at least let me speak for me, my mind sometimes will say, this is what you need. And my body will communicate something different. And I got to sit and realize, oh, my mind is communicating a habit. It's communicating something I've done before, or it wants me to meet a certain standard, to reach the milestone, to do something else. Let me listen to my body in this moment, not what my mind is naturally, for whatever the reason, gravitating toward. So these are the things that started showing up for day 21 for me. I was again reminded very seriously, strongly is the word I'm looking for. I was reminded very strongly this is not a journey about fitness, weight loss, um, appearances. Uh, it is about health, so yes, but it's really a journey about why do some things work and some things don't. That's the question that's coming into my mind every time I'm like, why am I being challenged by this today? And that means it's about repetition. It's about keeping going. It's about being gentle. It's about listening deeply. And that's why I have another video I'm creating to go into a lot of this a little deeper because I feel like if we don't ask ourselves some questions, we just go back to old habits. If we're not honest with ourselves, we just go back to old habits. If we forget to do the deeper dive because something else came up in the moment, we go back to old habits because the autopilot is always barely a switch away. It's like, I don't even think it's a switch, I think it's a dimmer away. Autopilot to go back to old behavior is only a dimmer away. And a day 21 is not, I don't think it's sufficient time to form the habit. I think it's sufficient time to pull the habits down from the etheric world, from the non-visible. It's enough to bring it down. Here's what came up for me when I was thinking about this. I feel like day 21 for me is like a boulder has been placed behind day 20, right? I've crossed this boulder, maybe a little ridge, maybe a little step. So when I look back, it's like, oh, if I want to go back, I'm going to have to go over that step, and it's up on a hill. So it's like, oh yeah, I need to keep going. It's a reminder that I've already crossed the threshold. Now I need to keep moving ahead. Um, the next video talks a little bit more about that and how that relates to being really truthful and honest about whatever struggles we are actually experiencing in the moment. So the deeper question for day 21 is not how do I start? How do I keep going? Is what makes this practice of movement, because I have other practice. I have devotional practices. I have nutrition practices. But what keeps this practice of movement going? And what are some of the things that prevent me from continuing? So I wanted to add the practice is growing, it needs to grow, but I am going to kind of scale back and not add too many things, like I said, because the danger of that is creating chaos where there's no need for it. Because consistency is starting to become or feel boring. So let me create a little bit more uh, novelty in this. So here's what I have been doing. I learned Pilates many, many years ago, and I loved it. I took classes. I used to be a group exercise instructor as well, but I did not teach. I was not certified to teach Pilates. I taught core. I forgot it was core and something, some you know interesting name. And so I always had a love for Pilates. In addition, Pilates was created by Joseph Pilates specifically for dancers or anyone who had injury. And so it was something I naturally gravitated to because I had so many dance related and sports related, not sports, but fitness related injuries. And they were mostly feet and rotator cuffs and stuff like that. So Pilates was a way for me to kind of keep moving through those so-called injuries. So I decided to reintroduce Pilates back into my movement. And also I can start small with Pilates. I don't have to make huge gains. I can just move. And I love that, and I'm excited about that. I've also reintroduced dance. Then I wanted to reintroduce strength, and I wanted to introduce this, and I was like, no, it's only day 21. I'm still reconditioning myself. So if you're gonna introduce things, and you really, I want to use the word should because it's advisable. It's advisable. It's often advised that every 3 weeks you kind of change your progression because that's how your body keeps adapting. So yes, you should introduce something different, but it doesn't have to be a different movement. Let's say you love walking, it can just be now instead of walking 3 days a week, I'm gonna walk 3 days 20 minutes. I'm gonna walk 3 days 40 minutes. So you're changing the duration. It could be well instead of walking um, 3 days, I'm not gonna walk 4 days. You're changing the frequency. Instead of walking 3 days um, for or 4 days for 20 minutes, I'm gonna walk 40 minutes one day, 20 minutes, 45 one day, and then whatever. You're changing the variation. So there's more than that that you can change to help your body keep adjusting. But the key is not to change too much and to recognize that the most important part of this journey or any movement journey is to keep moving. It's a movement journey. Keep moving and identify for yourself, because it's going to be different. Identify for yourself what exactly is it that I need to be honest and truthful about when it comes to my own. What is it that prevents this particular progression from continuing versus others? This particular habit from continuing versus others. All right, that's all I have to say about this video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying for a while, and definitely check out sister video to this one, which will talk a little bit about some questions that came up for me. And I'll see you the next time, and we'll see what more that this journey is going to teach. See you soon.